Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Melissa and I speak about different topics in my channel today. I usually don't post in the mornings. I usually always post in the afternoon, but today I decided to just post in the morning just because I know my afternoon will be a little bit busy with the cooking and all that stuff that I need to do today. Today I have 3 missing cases of kids that have gone missing. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel because it's me and I speak about different topics and it is what it is. I used to do missing adult which I'm gonna start doing again, but I finished my other list, so I'm wanting to do another list. If you know anybody that's missing, adult missing, please leave their names in this video and I will put it on my I will add it to my list of adults missing. But for now, I will be skipping that series just so I can find more adults. Which is not... y'all know what I mean. So the first one we're going to be talking about is Charles Arlen Leo Henderson. He went missing when he was 11. His height and weight is 4'5", 70 pounds. A camouflage print t-shirt, camouflage print pants with a tear in one knee, gray socks with red stripes, and black sneakers. White and yellow bicycle accounted for. Caucasian male, blonde hair, blue eyes. Charles has a crew cut at the time of his disappearance. He has a scar on his thigh and a gap between his teeth. He goes by one of his middle names, Arlen, and many accounts refer to him as Arlen Henderson. Arlen was riding his white and yellow bicycle in his family's mobile home in Moscow Mills, Missouri, about 50 miles north of St. Louis, on July 25th of 1991. He was last seen between 5 and 5:30 p.m. the day he vanished. Arlen had never been heard from again. His bicycle was found in bean fields of North Ellen Road, 5 miles from Arlen's home, 3 months after his disappearance, and was taken by the police as evidence. Investigators hope to define a set of fingerprints discovered on its time frame. A photo of the bike was posted with this case summary. Josh Spanger confessed to Arlen's murder in 2001, 10 years after the child disappeared. Spanger was 13 years old at the time of the alleged killing, and he could not have served prison time for his role in the alleged crime because of his age. Spanger was apparently involved in drug activity in 1991 and was associated with George N. Gilmanson and his older brother Charles Chucky Gisson. He says he sold drugs for them. Both of the Gisson brothers were intentionally charged in connection with Arlen's case in the spring of 2001. Spanger told the investigator that a member of the Arlen's family owed money, and Charles Gisson and Spanger was paid $10,000 to kill Arlen as a warning. Spanger stated that he was riding in a truck with George on July 25th of 1991, the day Arlen vanished, and they abducted him and held him in a house in Davis, Missouri for a few days. He claimed he shot Arlen in her head with a 9mm pistol in a creek bed near Davis on July 28th, 3 days after the boy was abducted, and buried the body along the Mississippi River. Investigators searched a site near Winfield, Missouri in the summer of 2001. For Arlen's remains, nothing was located. Authorities withdrew charges against both of the Gissons in October 2001 after learning that the Spanger lied regarding their involvement in the crime. Citizen numerous disappearance in Spanger's account. They charged him with perjury in connection with his testimony about Arlen's supposed death. Spanger pleaded guilty to the perjury and was sentenced to 7 years in prison. At the time of his plea, he was serving 4 years prison sentence for unrelated charges of burglary and evidence tampering. Authorities now believe Spanger and Gisson are nothing to do with Arlen's disappearance. They say he made up the stories as a malicious joke to make the police look incompetent. I don't know what was the joke on that whole situation, but let me tell you something. If you lie to the cops, especially about a crime, you will get punished. Because I don't see the joke. Like, I really don't. I don't see nothing funny about it. Okay, guys, so I'm drinking a Dr. Pepper. No, Coke. I used to love Coke. I mean, Dr. Pepper, but when I was pregnant with my daughter, I crave Coke more than anything. I had breakfast. I had 2 burritos with hash brown on the side from McDonald's. some reason I have been thirsty. Like, I just have to have something to drink every 5 minutes. If not, I'm going crazy. So, sorry if you see that. Authorities had not cast aside the theory that Arlene's disappearance may have been drug related, but his mother denies allegation that she or any of her family members were involved with drugs. Arlene's mother described him as a fun-loving boy who enjoyed telling stories, swimming, diving, and bike riding. His favorite school subject in 1991 was social studies and science. He lived with his mother at the time of his disappearance. His father had died for emphysema in 1990. Authorities believe Arlene's sister Joy Henderson Leonard and her husband Robert Bott Leonard may have important information about his disappearance. Joy was murdered 10 years after Arlene's disappearance, but this crime was not related to his case. His sister was killed by Robert, who simply died by suicide. It wasn't until after Joy Robert's death that police learned that they had made some statement that indicated they could know something about Arlene's case. Arlene's mother still lives in the same trailer park where her son used to live, but in different mobile home. Her husband name is still listed in the phone book in case Arlene decides to call home. If y'all do not remember if y'all are too young to even know what a phone book is, it's a big book with phone numbers. You would have to know the last name of the person and search for them. And trust me, you think that your last name is unique until you start looking for that last name. You're like, huh? You have to hope you get the right one too. That is crazy. In 2001, the investigators began to investigate Michael J. Del's possible involvement in Arlene's disappearance and several other cases, including the 1988 disappearance of Scott Klesher and 2005 disappearance of Bianca Piper. Sharon Homick, a 15-year-old boy who disappeared at the age of 11 in 2002, and William Ben Aubrey, a 13-year-old boy who was abducted in 2007, were both found alive in Delvin's house in January 2007. Auburn had been missing for 5 years and Hamburg for over 4 years. Both boys had been held against their will by Delvin, who secretly pleaded guilty to kidnapping and child molestation and was sentenced to life in prison. Authorities intentionally suspect Delvin could be linked to another missing child's case and form a multiple jurisdictional task force to investigate this theory. In October 2007, the task force dissolved as it could not find any evidence that Delvin was involved in any other children's disappearance. Arlene's disappearance remains unsolved. This case really does break my heart because, first of all, if this other child would not have wasted the detective's time by lying and just coming up with lies after lies, they could have focused on somebody else. So I feel like this child just wasted police time and resources where they could have been focusing on probably a family member or a friend or something, but they didn't. And so I do hope that the mom does get some type of an answer. And with all my missing cases, I will leave information to where you could call. If you know anything, you don't have to say your name, just know what you know. Say what you know. The next, I will be speaking about Rilya Wilson. I don't know if I've done this case before. I'm assuming that I have, but I do not know. But it sounds familiar. But if I did, I'm so sorry. She was 4 years old. Her height and weight is 50 pounds, African American female, black hair, brown eyes. Rilya has a scar on her puncture wound approximately 5 inches below her navel. Her ears are pierced, and some agencies give her middle name as Denise. Rilya and her 2 siblings were removed from their mother's custody when Rilya was an infant. They were placed with Garland, their alleged grandmother or godmother, in Miami, Florida in 2000. Their mother, Gloria Wilson, abused cocaine and neglected her children. Her parental rights were eventually terminated. Photos of Gloria and Garden are posted with this case summary. Florida Department of Children and Families was allegedly to check on the children's well-being during the monthly visit. The final record visit for the family took place in early January of 2001, when their social worker, Deborah, sometimes spelled Deborah, Muscali, stopped by Grant's resident. A photo of Muscali is posted with this case summary. Grant told the authorities that undefendedly African-American female arrived at her home in the 10 100 block of Southwest 145 Place on January 18, 2001. The individual claimed to work for the DCF and said that she was removing Rilya from their home for manipulation. Rilya had reported being diagnosed with behavior problems prior to the visit. She had never been heard from again. Garden said that the alleged abductor spoke with a trick accent that may have been African in origin. The woman, Grant said, was extremely familiar with Rilya's story and said Mescali were aware of her visit. Grant stated 2 other people visited her home in February 2001 and requested additional toys to help Rilya become accustomed to her new surroundings. Mescali and her supervisor, Willis Harris, registered from the DCF in March 2002 amid accusations that their records of home visit were fraudulent. The agency conducted Granny's during its investigation into Mescali records. Authorities learned about Rilya's possible abduction on April 2002, 15 months after the child's disappearance. Grant said that Mescali was not one of the individuals who visited her home. 1 month after Rilya disappeared, Mescali's attorney said that his client offered to cooperate with the authorities regarding Rilya's case. He also claimed that Mescali was being used as a scapegoat by the DFCF to mask its own international problems. Mescali was criminally charged with 41 counts, including grand theft relating to her defacing at her job. She pleaded guilty to 1 count of unofficially misconduct and had the grand theft charges adjudicated and was sentenced to 5 years probation. The other 39 charges were dropped. Mescali admitted that she billed the state as a social worker for the times when she was actually at her second job as a substitute teacher. The state sought $5,000 in restitution for Mescali's salaries, sick pay, and vacation pay. She's not been charged directly in connection with Rilya's disappearance. Grant told several media outlets that she conducted Mescali several times after Riley was removed from her home. She claimed Mescali told her that the child would be returned shortly. Grant admitted that she continued to cash checks from the state of Florida for Riley's care after the child and disappeared. Grant said that she called the DCF to report the error, but maintains she was instructed to keep the money due to a difficult and reapplication process. Okay. The DFS officially said that they have no record of Grant's phone calls and only learned of Rilya's disappearance on April 25th, 2002, which is the date that she was reported missing. Grant says she believed Mescali was aware of the circumstances surrounding Riley's disappearance, but nothing had been proven. The DFS has been under security for some time as a Berkeley mistakes and other situations were discovered. The agency has since acknowledged that it failed Rilya. Gloria told reports Grant was not Rilya's potential grandmother. Grant denied that statement, but admitted her son Kenneth Expo never took a paternity test to confirm if he fathered the child. Grant maintains that Gloria has named several men as a possible father of Rilya, but one of the allegations have been proven. Gloria said that she met on one of Grant's daughter in a substance abuse rehabilitation center prior to Rilya's birth. She said that she elected the name Garnes as Rilya's godmother. The actual relationship between Grant and Rilya is unclear. Maybelline Cash claimed to be Rilya's father in early May 2002. He is currently imprisoned after being convicted of automobile theft and drug charges. Cash was named as Rilya's prospective father on papers terminating Gloria's potential rights. He has never taken a paternity test to prove his claim. Cash told the media that he saw Rilya 3 times a week prior to his incarceration. He said that he saw the child for the final time at her 3rd birthday party at her home of Pamela Kendrick in Munnsville, Florida. Pamela Kendrick is often referred to as Pamela Grant, and some accounts claim the 2 women are sisters, but they're not, in fact, related. Kendrick is Cash and Gloria's allowed her to take custody of Rilya shortly after her birth. Rilya was removed from Kendrick's house on April 2000 after allegations of neglect surfaced, and Kendrick denies any wrongdoing in Rilya's case. Rilya and the other children were placed in Grant's custody shortly thereafter. A photo of Kendrick was posted with this case summary. Authorities removed Riley's siblings from Grant's care in early May 2000. Grant claims that there was no reason for the custody changes. Investigators have reported administrative polygraph exams to serve a Riley's relative, but the results have not been publicly released. Media reports reveal that Grant had used 42 different aliases over the past 20 years. She was convicted of food stamp fraud in Tennessee during the 1980s and was sentenced to probation in Florida as a result of theft charges. Reports state that Grant filed at least 8 lawsuits for personal injuries, composition, child support, and ridicule discrimination charges throughout the years. Grant had been sued by 12 creditors and was named a 7th landlord-tenant disputes. A physician diagnosed Grant with a psychotic syndrome similar to schizophrenia months before Riley and her siblings were placed into her custody. Her attorney claimed that the stories deflect attention away from the DCF's errors. He also said that Grant used numerous aliases in an attempt to hide from an abusive former boyfriend during the 1980s. Grant continued to maintain that she suffered severe injuries and memory loss in a vehicular accident in the May 1990s. Woman, can you just stop with the lies? Because we just, whatever. Stop with the lies. Gloria had admitted that she was not able to care for her children while she struggled with her cocaine addiction. The DCF was aware of possible problems at her home since 1996, when a neighbor became concerned that Gloria's children were being neglected. She relocated to Cleveland shortly after Rilya's birth. She said that she told the SBN about her plans. Grant told the media of that Gloria's anger over Rilya's disappearance was contrived and said that she had not spoken to her daughter since 1990. Gloria claims that the agency instructed her not to contact with her children after leaving Florida. Gloria had never publicly identified Rilya's father, and at least one additional man has claimed Rilya as his child. A Miami pollster and his wife came forward in mid-May 2002 and announced that they had custody of Rilya's older sister for several years. The couple told the media that Gloria joined their church in 1995 and promised to improve her life with the assistance. Rilya's half-sister was an infant at the time, and the couple said that Gloria neglected her. They provide material goods for the child until Gloria asked them to care for the baby during a weekend. She never retrieved her, and the child has resided with the couple since that time. Court records indicate Gloria was given numerous chances to rehabilitate herself during the following years, but she has not seen her daughter since 1996. The couple decided to finalize the adoption process in the late 1990s, but their DCF caseworker was Mesquila, that claimed that Mesquila neglected to check on the children's welfare and was difficult to keep in touch with. The pastor said the Harris Mesquila former supervisor visited the family after Rilya's case came to attention on April 2. He said the Harris claimed that the DCF had too many cases to track and defend himself, and Mesquila, the couple, received the word that the DCF was preparing adoption papers for them in April 2002. They had been asking for the documents for years beforehand. And in mid-2002, a judge ruled that Leah's younger sister, Rilya Wilson, was neglected by the DCF official and by Grant and Kendrick. The judge stated that the Rilya suffered from development problems and untreated eye condition. Neither the DCF nor her caregivers provide needing medical care when necessary. Media sources speculate that authorities may begin searching locations in Miami area for possible evidence in the near future. The reports have not been confirmed. Investigators said that they have not received any tip regarding Rilya's whereabouts. American Most Wanted profiled Riley's case in mid-2002, but the producers omit a scratch of the undefined female Grant claims abducted the child in 2001. The series was stated that the most accurate scratch was created before witness view lineups or photos of possible suspect. Grant looked at a numerous photo of the DCF headquarters after Riley disappeared. Was reported the sketch was considered compromised and a result. Media reports state that the official located a witness who may have seen Riley and Grant together on February 2001. One mother after Grant's claim a DCF worker removed the child from her home. A medical worker reportedly told investigators that Riley accompanied Grant and Burdick during the latter checkup. Grant denied that Rockfist had saw Riley. In addition, sources alleged that Grant may have falsified Riley's visitation records in 2001. and to continue receiving state benefits for the child's care. Documents reportedly state that Riley was vaccinated after she disappeared. Sources claim the doctor who signed the papers never saw the child on the specific date. Authorities continue to focus on Grant and Kendrick Washington in their investigation, and on October 2002, the two women were charged with stealing over $14,000 from the state of Florida. Officials state that Grant and Kendrick engaged in fraud by accepting funds from the state for Riley's care after she disappeared. They were later convicted. Grant was given prison term and Kendrick was placed on probation. Authorities state that both women have consistently failed lie detector tests connection with Riley's case. Grant allegedly told at least 6 people that an unnamed Spanish woman had taken Riley into a trip into New York or New Jersey after the individual noticed the child absence, but before the DCS did. She said Spanish woman intend to adopt Riley. When confronted by police about her changing stories, Grant said the woman returned Riley's before the DCF worker picked her up and she vanished. She denies abusing or killing the child and has stated she believes Riley is still alive. Grant says Kendrick made up the abuse allegations to escape a long prison sentence. In August 2004, 2.5 years after Riley vanished, Grant was charged with kidnapping and 3 counts of child abuse, and Kendrick with 2 lesser counts of child abuse and neglect. Kendrick pled guilty to neglecting and abusing Riley but not in harming her, and was sentenced to 364 days in prison, followed by 5 years probation. She promised to testify against Grant at her trial. She says both of them spanked Riley with switch, locked her dog in locked her in a dog cage in the laundry room, and constantly handcuffed her to the bed at night. Kendra denies any knowledge of what happened to Riley. However, it claims she asked Grant the question several times and got no answer. In May 2005, Grant was additionally charged with first-degree murder in connection with Riley's case. Investigators believe that Childs was suffered or beaten to death sometime in December 2000, a month before Grant says Riley disappeared, and over a year before the DCF found out about it. A large part of evidence supporting the charges came from information provided by Robin Langford, a former cellmate of Grant's, who said Grant confessed Riley's murder to her. Langford said Grant told her Riley had demons from her previous abuse experience. Riley had refused to wear an angel costume for Halloween and wanted to dress up as Claire Breed instead. This baby girl would have not even known the difference. Which caused Grant to decide she was evil and had to die. Grant reportedly buried Riley's body in Riviera near a private lake where she had previously gone for fishing and cookouts. A photography of Langford is posted with this case summary. She's a career criminal with 15 convictions for a robbery and history of prisoner escapes. She was awaiting trial for another armed robbery and charged with Graham's supposedly confessed with her Grant's defense, questioning her credibility and homicide in her criminal history. In 2005, Langford ceased cooperating with authorities and stated that she would not testify against Grant unless she could get a much reduced sentence for the robbery in return for her testimony. The prosecution offended 20 years. Langford wanted 3. Earlier, she had stated she had gone to the police with her information about consistent and was not expecting leniency in exchange for her cooperation. This is why a lot of people don't do, like a lot of prosecutors don't use snitches in prison, because 9 out of 10 they're just lying about it. At Grant's bail hearing in August 2005, Langford invoked her 15th Amendment rights against self-incrimination and refused to testify against her. Langford was convicted of armed robbery on September 2005 and sentenced to the minimum life in prison without the possibility of parole under Florida's aberration violent offenders laws. Prosecutor later come to an agreement with her, however, in March 2011, and her sentence was reduced to 10 years in return for promise to testify against Grant. Candidate cooperated with the prosecutor and told them she had nothing to do with the Riley disappearance, but knew all along that Grant was making up the story about the DCF working coming to take Riley. Grant's trial took place during December 2012 and January 2013. Lunsford, Kennedy, and Muskelly Ramon, the witness who testified, Grant's attorney argued that there was no evidence Riley was dead and suggested she had been sold. The jury convicted Grant of kidnapping and child abuse, but they deadlocked to 11-1 in the charge of murder. The judge declared a mistrial on the murder charges, and Grant was sentenced to 55 years in prison for the crime she was convicted of. As she presently in her late 60s, the sentence would probably keep her in prison for the rest of her life. Nevertheless, the prosecution had elected to retry on the murder charges. Grant is awaiting her second murder trial. Riley has never been located, but foul play is suspected in her case due to circumstantial environment. This one, it really does, it angers me because so many people failed her. So many people could have saved her, and she was so beautiful, and she went missing when she was only 4 years old. So that whole she didn't want to dress up like an angel, and she wanted to dress up as somebody else. What 4-year-old knows the difference between a devil and an angel? Me personally, I've never met one, so that's a crack a lie. But okay, I don't understand. Like, did these see, like, it has happened in so many cases where social workers don't know how to do their job right. Like, I don't get it. It breaks my heart. So the last case we'll be talking about is Bob Louis Richard Boyce. He went missing at 10 years old. His height and weight is 480 pounds, a dark blue hood coat, dark colored pants, plain shirt, brown leather boots, Caucasian male, brown hair, brown eyes. Bob has a scar on his upper lip. Bob was last seen in his hometown of Port Republic, Maryland, in the afternoon of December 26 of 1968. He left a friend's home with his pair deer and was last seen on a road near his own home. The deers arrived at Bob's house without him, and he's never been heard from again. Few details are available in his case. And that is it, guys. That is just 3 cases that I've talked about. I will leave the information of every single case that y'all heard today. If you know anything, please go ahead and call the number. You do not have to tell them who you are. You can stay anonymous. Let's help this family get some answer for their loved ones, for their children. It breaks my heart knowing that every single night these family have to go to sleep, and like me as a mother, I wouldn't want to picture my child somewhere out there, in the cold, and when it rains, when and there's woods that have animals. I just couldn't imagine it. So yes, guys, I will see y'all soon with another case. I hope you have a wonderful Thursday. Please be safe out there and be good. Bye.